Thank you, YL and Self Labs. Thank you, Ashton. Thank you, Foundry, for sponsoring our event. Ashton's going to talk about giving to market, and I'm going to talk about purpose-based branding and why every business should be focused on what they're providing in value. So we say vibes over KPIs, and I know everyone's very KPI driven these days, and I'm not saying KPIs are not important, but setting the right foundation for your brand is what makes all those KPIs work. So we say beauty is skin deep, but ugly goes clean to the bone. At Nickel Bronx, we say beauty is skin deep, but brand goes clean to the bone. By the time a potential customer fills out a form or calls you, they've done 70% of the decision as to whether or not they're going to work with you. So before your sales team gets involved, before you even know they're interested, they're doing all their research and deciding who they're going to contact. Even in B2B, which we consider the most merit-based, like not feeling, like everyone understands why you pay more for Lululemon, but not why you would do it in a B2B environment. But even in B2B, 90% of buyers are going to visit between 2 and 7 other websites before making their choice. And 94% of the first impression and 70% of the credibility comes from your design. I know that they say looks aren't everything, but first impressions matter, and you cannot make a second one. So what is brand? Everyone gets really caught up. Everyone thinks logo, visual identity. But your brand is so much more. It is your essence, your songs, your music. Does anyone know what an Abercrombie store smells like?
Smells like? Yeah.
It's part of their brand. They put that shit in your brain, and you will never forget it. So what kind of brand do you want? Everybody wants to be a cool brand, right? But cool is elusive. Not everyone can be cool. And it turns out you have to be exactly that cool. If you're too cool, not enough people are going to want what you have. And if you're not cool enough, we know how that goes. And cool doesn't work for every brand, right? Like, I don't want a cool bookkeeper. I want my bookkeeper studying the numbers, making sure things are in the right spot, right? And I don't want a cool plumber. Have you guys seen videos of what happens when cool plumbers come over?
Yes.
I don't want that. And also, nothing's less cool than saying you're cool. It's impossible to convey cool. Other people decide what's cool. So what do you want? You want to find your why. So this is Ikigai. It's a Japanese principle of finding your purpose. Heard a lot of noises. It feels like some of you have heard of this before. But if you find what you love and what the world needs, that's a mission. It's a great thing to do. It's probably not going to make you any money. If you find what you can be paid for and what the world needs, it's vacation. You got a nice 9 to 5, and that's great if that's what you want. But if you can check all 4 of these, what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for, that is your purpose. Now, this is a personal sentiment, right? When they say Ikigai, they're talking about people. But Simon Sinek really popularized this with his Start With Why video. And if you guys haven't seen that, you should go see it. But the reality is that purpose-based branding is what drives people to align with you. It makes customers more likely to spend money with you. It makes them more likely to tell people that they are working for you. And it's all done by shared values and a common mission. And it works. This is the Stengel 50, and they did a study of just empirical data, companies' growth, based on how companies are positioned and what they're putting out there. And purpose-based companies beat the S&P 500 by almost 400%. And if you want to be a best place to work, 85% of employees of Fortune 100 best companies reported that their work has special meaning, that it's more than just a job, right? We talk about culture and how to get people aligned. And again, Foundry, thank you for the pizza and the drinks. But it's not just pizza and drinks. It's not pizza parties. It's not lunches. It's giving them something more to move forward to than just their paycheck, your bottom line. And listen, I'm a capitalist. I know we got some investors here. Of course we want to make money. That's not a differentiator, though. Everyone's here to make money. That's why we're in the game. Patagonia has absolutely crushed the purpose-based branding game. They've taken it much further now in that they've given all their profits back to the earth to try to protect it. But they were really the first ones that were pushing the sustainability, give back, try to get to carbon zero initiative. And this is a severely fragmented space where new people are getting in every day. Nike's selling high-end outdoor gear. You've got Kennedy Goose, Montclair, on the luxury all the way down at any price point. No one even has more than 10% of market share. Everyone is trying to get in the space. Everybody wants to be in the space. And Patagonia is still in first place because not just they did it, but they meant it. It's why they wanted to do it. And again, people are going to come after them. Anything you do that sticks and works, people are going to want a piece of it, and they're going to come try and duplicate and rip off what you have. But if you're first, people are going to remember. Toms, do you guys remember these?
Yes.
They were house slippers. Who bought a pair of Uggs? I'm sorry, Toms. I did. I even bought a pair from Nordstrom's for $70 because it had a skull. We were mesmerized. We were all under a spell. Would anyone wear these now? It all started with the buy one, give one. Everyone fell in love with the idea of giving a pair of shoes to someone else, although you could have bought a cheaper, better pair of shoes and then bought another shitty pair of shoes and sent them to someone yourself. But they went gangbusters. Tesla, this was a lot cooler before he bought Twitter, but just ride with me. So their purpose is to accelerate the advent of sustainable transport by bringing compelling mass market electric cars to market as soon as possible. Now, think about the way they've grown and the specificity in that purpose, right? We are changing the world by bringing electric cars that are going to be compelling and even as soon as possible, right? They started with the Roadster and then they went with the S and they worked their way down to cars normal people can afford. And again, I'm really sorry about Twitter, but I don't think people realize the impact. The whole world is going electric because they were laser focused. Everyone who worked there, everyone who burns late hours, right? When you want employees to crush for you, they're not going to do it for you, but they'll do it for this. So how do you find your purpose? The best way to do it is to build a brand strategy, a long-term plan for the development and management of your brand that defines your purpose, values, personality, and positioning. Yes, you can pay someone to do this. Yes, you could pay me to do this. But the answers, the answers are in the room, right? We always say that we're not making up another company's purpose. I'm not giving someone a reason to do what they do. And especially for founders, you get so caught in the weeds that you forget too. And so to have a living, breathing document like this that you can refer to and you can go back to is going to help all your employees do it. Now, how do you build a brand people are attracted to? So these are the components of your brand strategy. And I think this is where everyone gets lost on brand when they focus on just your logo. It is your purpose. It is the identity. That's still part of it. It's the personality of your brand, the positioning, the communication pillars. When you have a living, breathing document that everyone on your team can refer to, everyone starts speaking the same language. When you are not in a meeting, your number 2, 3, 5, 20 is saying the same thing you are, is preaching the same values, is talking about the same reasons people should want to work with you. Now let's talk counter positioning. Walmart and Target. Who shops at Walmart? Who shops at Target? A little bit of crossover, not a ton. These guys are mostly selling the same thing. One goes on lowest price, one goes on value. One's purpose is to get you the most value for your dollar. One is to save you the most money. It doesn't sound that different, but it means something different to you. It means something different to the shopper. Nike and New Balance. This actually really hurt me when I did this because I wear a lot of Nikes. But New Balance's purpose is we stand for something bigger than sneakers. We champion those who are fearlessly driven by their passions. We elevate sport. We do right by people and planet. Should have worn Nikes today. But if you want stylish shoes, if you want performance, if you want the brand that's associated with Nike, which is probably what most people are wearing if they're wearing sneakers, you're going to go with that. If you have a wide foot, you're probably going to go with New Balance. But if you care where your shoes are made, if you want shoes that are not made in a sweatshop in Asia. New Balance is the choice for you. And that resonates with people, and they think about it, and it makes a difference. And it's how a company like New Balance can compete and fight with a company like Nike. When's the time for a rebrand? So there are a lot of times when you should revisit this. And if you have not done this brand strategy, you can do it. You can do it with your team. You can do it with your leadership. Ask your customers why they work with you. Ask your employees. It really is just about asking why you're doing this. And again, I'm doing this for the money too. But it's just not a differentiator. Everyone is. Oh, sorry. But when you need to rebrand. So if your brand no longer affects your vision or goals, if you don't like the look and feel of your brand, our competitive advantage is vague or poorly communicated. I cannot even begin to tell you how many times I'll sit down with someone and just get the best pitch on their company. Like why they do it, how good their people are, they're so good at their services. And then you go look at the website, it doesn't say any of that stuff. You go look at the collateral, it doesn't say any of that stuff. You go look at their social, someone's dancing to TikTok, right? But that's where the strategy comes in. If you genuinely think you are good enough and don't understand why people are not choosing you, something's falling apart in this section. People subconsciously, if your website says one thing and the salesperson says one thing and your social is saying something else, they subconsciously don't trust you.
Yeah.
They don't understand why. They're not sitting there thinking that stuff doesn't match, like, you know, maybe they're not that organized, right? They just have that gut feeling, the vibe is off, and they're gonna pick someone else. Business model strategy has changed. You have a question?
One quick note for everybody, please write questions down now because we're going to go me, Borzu, and then we're going to do Q&A. So anything that comes to mind while Borzu's talking, pull out your phone and write it down, and we'll do that after I go. Cool. Bye.
Thank you, Ashton.
You're welcome.
Outgrowing our current brand, undergoing a merger acquisition. Merger acquisition is, again, the #1 time to revisit this. And even if you're the acquiring company and you are not going to listen to what the company you acquire says and you are not going to incorporate any of their shit, if you engage them in this process and you ask them what they think and you pull them through with you, you will have buy-in. They will feel like they are part of the same mission. And then looking to expand your influence, struggling to gain new tractions, disassociate from a negative perception. Some of these are pretty obvious, and you know when to do it. All right, what about AI? Everyone's super AI focused in marketing. Do I use it? Yes. Do I love it? Yes. But what crushes Facebook ads? Creative. What crushes TikTok ads? Creative. What crushes Google ads? Okay, it's targeting. But they're going to end up on a landing page. They're going to end up on your site. They're going to do more homework on you. Like if you're selling a t-shirt or a widget or something for 20 bucks, fine. You know, do the funnel, get them done, go for it. But if you have something bigger ticket, something people need, take the time to make everything the same. Build your brand, build your purpose. Again, you can totally do this on your own. We'll give info at the end later. And if you guys email me, I'll send you our brand strategy, which I think is just a great guide to what every content pillar and thing should look like. And again, you do this once, mission and vision changes with market trends and leadership and the way you deliver your services. All that stuff can change from day to day, but your purpose should stay the same. And that's why we say vibes over KPIs. You don't have to do that. And then, and now Ashton will come.
Wait, yeah! Woo! Hoop, hoop.
And talk about going to market by giving.
So the #1 problem is for every founder and entrepreneur I've ever met, and I've met thousands at this point, is figuring out how they're going to grow. That is, I don't really know of a company I've talked to who says we certainly have enough business. We're totally good. Like we're full and we're done. So, whoops, previous. So we're going to talk about how to go to market by giving, and it's very counterintuitive because we're taught in capitalism that giving isn't really the way that we get, right? Well, giving is the way we get, and it actually compounds, and 10 times is at least. I'll give you a great example is my investment group has a line of billionaires out the door because they are not getting great press in a lot of places, and they would love to know that their investment is giving back to the world. So giving in that case works very well, but we're going to talk about 3 ways that you can give to grow. So in order for people to buy you, now a brand really helps with this, so thank you, Borzu. It's much easier for somebody to choose you if you look like the coolest.
Thank you, Ashton.
You're welcome. But so this is true in every place. Also, Borzu, thank you for your design team making my garbage beautiful. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Ashton.
You're welcome. So in order for people to buy, they have to know you, trust you, respect you, know that you have their best interest at heart, and you have to stay top of mind. Now, these first 4 are actually not as hard, sort of. A great way to not get new business is to reach out to somebody cold and ask them for something, but a great way to get new business is to reach out to somebody cold and offer them something, because then you check all 4 of these. This 5th one is much harder, so we're going to go into a couple of options to do that. Yeah, this is it. You can just take a picture of this. How do you get awareness, trust, respect? You help somebody. You give back to them. Especially today when you've got, I actually am now spam blocking SDRs and BDRs who ask me for a meeting. I got a call the other day at 6:12 because I'm sure somebody knew my phone was optimized for that's when I walk home because of all the spam. And this BDR says that they have AI-based finance services, software, whatever. I go, yeah, man, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. You're doing good work. I know this is hard. I've done this too. But probably take me off your list because I'm never going to buy your stuff and neither is anybody else in my company. But I'm sure it's cool. It's just not what we need. Have a great day. And he actually goes, and I almost called his founder. He goes, well, yeah, but look, man, I'm really trying to get in front of some people and book some meetings so that we can give you like an Amazon gift card if you'll do a demo. Somebody's paying him to try to offer his stuff to the wrong person who very clearly told him that I don't want his stuff. And his version of giving, that's actually, he told me that he thinks that my billable rate is $50 an hour, by the way. For a half-hour meeting at 25. It's a minimum of 2,500 based on the business I drive to my companies, and that just keeps going way up. So that didn't feel nice. So that's not really how you do it. How you do it, oh yeah, people want to feel like you care about them. Like, have you ever been in a meeting with somebody and like you feel like the ask is coming and you start to get nervous? Like, oh, now it's kind of, they only showed up for me because they want to take something from me. That's actually why ultra high net worths like me. They know I see money as energy to be deployed, not as like something that makes them valuable. Like they, the person, are valuable. So we get along well, which is how I started an investment firm, because they like funding our purchases, because they know that I'm just trying to help, because I give to the people I meet. Simple ways are, send them a book or, ask what they need. It's very, very easy, but it's hard to get over the idea that maybe we won't get enough. So here are 3 real ways to do it, aside from just your one-on-ones. Your one-on-ones, my friend Amelia De Sorrento, it was 5 years ago, she disarmed me, and I'll never forget it. And this is something that each of you can take home now immediately and do it forever, and you will be more successful. Which is when you get to minute, 55 of an hour-long meeting, or 25 of a half, like 5 minutes before your meeting's over, just pause the human, like look at them, like deeply, and say, hi, one last thing before I go. What's one thing I can help you with? And then just let them unload, and then go do it. Like, it's just gonna be a connection to something. It's gonna be something easy. Like what was the easy one the other day. I mean, but everybody's just looking for somebody, and you probably know them. Like and this is a fact, especially now because you all know you can call me to raise capital, YL. Yeah, good, perfect. But they say that if a founder's problem is finding money, if that's their only problem, they don't have a problem. So it's almost always a connection, and you probably know the person. But 3 ways, this is fun. So I launched at the beginning of last year something called Marketing Mishaps Monday that is a give to the people. I sent tens of thousands of emails to CMOs, the cold drip ones where I'm asking them for stuff, right? I've probably burned so many bridges that I couldn't count them because the top 5,000 brands all have my name in their inbox, and nobody wanted to talk to me because I was going to them to ask them to work with me, which is a take, you know, I'm asking for their dollars, like instead of like asking them to. So I switched. I launched a weekly newsletter, or a bi-weekly newsletter where I go to CMOs and I say, hey, would you like to be a guest on my interview series? It's just an email. And now I did 20 some issues last year, and I get thank yous every time I send it. It has almost 500 to 600 people on it now because I add people without asking who I meet who are marketers because I don't have a logo on it. It's just my name. And if I cold ask a CMO to be on my interview series, they would love to be a part of my world. This goes back to being top of mind. It's very hard. How do you make sure that all of your most important, your ideal clients, hi Danya, hey, how do you make sure that they see your name every 2 weeks? Like you have to have a reason to go back out to them. So I'm interviewing marketers, pulling their knowledge out, packaging it up to help. And people thank me every time I hit send. And the people thanking me, Nike, Hilton, like all of these major brands. And they're like, dude, thank you. Like this is a great story about something I may be able to avoid because you've done this for me. So that's a give that anybody can do. You just have to ask yourself, what do your people want? Like what does your ideal client like want and need? Knowledge is powerful, and you can just simply build it just like this. Second one is Chris Perkins, the president of Model B, who runs the show now that I'm doing some other stuff. He's built this wonderful thing called the Partner Collective. And what he does is he finds agencies. So this is for professional services groups. He finds agencies that are an ideal one-off from us. So they have a superpower that we don't, like influencer platforms or PR companies. We have a bunch of those. And what we do is we bring them together every quarter. We have everybody come on and do a 1 minute on themselves. And I'm actually going to ask Sir Martin Sorrell, who I meet at 5:30 a.m. on Friday morning, if he'll come and talk to the group. Like, I'm going to be like, I have a private group of agency leaders. Like, would you mind coming and sharing some wisdom about where you think the market is going? So we look for ways to help them, but additionally, we have all of them are shocked when we say that we don't charge them any money to be a part of it, and we don't ask for referral fees if we send them clients. We just ship them every day. We make a new connection to one of them, like because somebody comes into our office and they need something that they have. So this is an amazing way to. So this is building a community. Other examples of communities could be. You've seen a lot of these Slack groups get meteoric, like just blow up. Like, what is that marketer? One CMO made this incredible one that he commercialized pretty rapidly, and I remember I was always happy to pay for it because I could go talk to other. It's where I learned demand gen marketing is in that guy's group because I got to be like, hey guys, how do I do this? How do I do that? And they taught me, which was amazing. So if you give people a place to be in cahoots with people who are similar to them, they're gonna like that a whole awful lot. And now this one's for tech companies, and this is the hardest one actually. So we were drawing zeros on our new biz development at my ad tech company. Again, people just didn't want to engage with somebody asking them for money. We've done 2 things. First one is you can now sign up on our website to get a free monthly report of your top performing, worst performing ads and how to make those a little better. That costs no money. It costs us a ton of money to make, like 2 months of 5 people's 40-hour weeks who are well paid So we did have to invest into that to give that to them. They love it. The ones who aren't afraid to connect their ad platforms. Some are. But either way, the thing is, even if they're afraid to connect their ad platforms, we get to go to them and say, we have something for you. Like, we have something to give to you. Because how did we do business as back in the day when we were kings and queens? I would have been a peasant, of course. But we would engage with another kingdom by bringing gifts like silks and wines and then boxes of the things that we want to do a trade deal with them about. Like, we can still do that, and it's going to cost a little bit of money. It's going to cost a little bit of money, which I'll talk about in the next slide because I think I have one. But so so if you can slice a piece out of your technology and give it away, amazing. Like, you will get so much more traction, so much more quickly, because you get to start with the gift. We also, since we launched this, because it hit so hard, so good, we started doing pilots for clients for 30 days for no money. So we just say, you're going to sign a contract where you start paying us on day 31, but if you tell us on day 29 that you're out, you're out. And you just get to try it out. We don't mind. Like, reducing the friction, and that was incredible for, this first part gave us a big pipeline, and then we said, how do we get the pipeline to actually say yes? And the answer was, again, a give. So yeah, the question is this like a product-led growth move? Not really. It is a little bit, but it's more relationship-led. It's helping you and your company build that relationship, which will mean a lot more if you have a really cool brand, so you should all call Borzu. Last bit. So think about the expense here. Like 2 months of 5 people and my ad tech company, me spending time, I'll meet with anybody for an hour always. And as long as they do the homework I give them in that call, I'll meet with them again. So is that time consuming and expensive? Like, absolutely yes. Do people answer my request for a meeting always? Absolutely yes, because they know I would never come to them to take from them. I would only come to give them something and make their life a little better, like in some way. So people know that because I do it all the time. So it is tough, and it is expensive, but it's not too expensive, because I've personally probably 50 times my stuff in just the last month because of years of giving. The one thing is, there's a great book called Give and Take that everybody should read once a year. I just read it for this year. I'll read it again next year. But it says that when you look at the numbers of giving, and Adam Grant is very good about using database, writing database things, it kind of all looks the same. Like, takers get more because they take, and givers for a while, like, they look like they're getting beaten until you look at the compound. Over time, like, the givers dramatically beat the takers. But the most important thing, this is not part of this presentation, I'm just saying this, the book says that you have to give, and have a goal in mind that you share with other people. So you just have to know where you're going. And if you know where you're going, that's why you always hear me throw out numbers like 10 million revenue, 10 trillion assets under management, like all these, because I'm sharing what I'm trying to create. And if you share that with others, they're going to look for ways to help you. So, but you got to do both. If you do one, it doesn't work. This is not too expensive. Last most important thing I have to say is, you do not have to do this by yourself if you're the founder. You can package up ways for your team to do all of the things that I just said. You just have to think about what your people want. So, thank you.